Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Karen Harris. If you're new here, I like to film tan girl friendly makeup videos here on YouTube. I do upload quite often, so I hope you will consider subscribing to my channel for ranking videos, will I buy it, and of course first impressions. Tons of new makeup. I love eyeshadow palettes, so if you want to see swatches on my tan skin tone, I would highly recommend checking out my channel. So today's video, first of all, it's very late. It's like a month late and it's probably mid-October by the time you're seeing this one. But listen, do you know sometimes when you overhype something in your head and you get really anxious about it and you're like, you know what, I'm gonna screw it up. I really don't want to do it. It's called the fear of... Is it called the fear of anticipation? I can't remember, but basically, August was full of amazing eyeshadow palette launches, and I built it up in my head to the fact that I'm not going to be able to rank these. There's so many palettes I love. I'm going to screw it up. Everyone's going to get mad at me. And so I kept putting it off and putting it off and putting it off, and it is literally October 3rd. I'm a month behind schedule on this video, and I was like, Karen, you're a grown-up woman. Suck it up. Get this video filmed. I think this video is still going to have a lot of useful information for you guys, especially if you're planning on picking up one of these palettes in the future. So without further blabbering, let's get into my August ranking video. Okay, so I have 18 eyeshadow palettes to rank. So let's start off with number 18. This is the Venus 3 palette from Lime Crime. This palette was sent to me by Look Fantastic because I did do a sponsored video with them in the month of August, and I picked this out from a list of eyeshadow palettes that they sent me. I have the Lime Crime Prelude palette that came out earlier in the year, and I really enjoyed it, so when I saw another Lime Crime palette, I was like, oh, let me pick it up. I guess I'm thinking I'm going to start collecting these. Not really the case at all, but I do have this guy. I really haven't used it that much, but I'm ranking it low because, honestly, Color Story left a lot to be desired. I feel like I have these shades 100 times over, so that's why I'm ranking it at number 18. You guys will see top 5 is like amazing, so I had to start somewhere, and that's gonna be number 18. In the 17th spot, I honestly hated this palette so much, I wish I hadn't purchased it. I definitely got catfished by Pat McGrath's swatches on her website because I thought these eyeshadows were going to be much brighter than they actually appear to be in the pan. This is the Pat McGrath Rose Decadence. This is one of her 6-pan palettes, and after I filmed this video, I was like, you know what? I'm going to take it easy on her 6-pan eyeshadow palettes. I haven't really loved any of the recent ones she's come out with in 2020, so I'm taking a little break from the 6-pan palettes. Mother Pat has announced her holiday collection, and I'm sure a lot of you are so excited. I did order the Celestial Divinity palette. It's the $78 eyeshadow palette. It's on its way to me, so I will definitely be doing a comparison video in the next week or so. Keep an eye open for that. But yeah, Mother Pat has been taking all my coins in 2020, so we'll see. I know she's launching some quads for holiday too. I think I'm gonna try and pass on all those, but who knows, I might have like a comatose shopping moment and forget all about it and just buy all the quads. I'm hoping that doesn't happen, but you never know. So in number 16, I have the Glamlite Glam Donut palette. Now this one is ranking again quite low because of the shades that they included in this palette. I feel like this is basically a miniature version of their cake palette. If you have the cake palette, you really don't need this unless you love donuts and you want to collect this squishy donut packaging for some reason. Personally, I regret spending money on this because, I mean, it was like a $25 palette. I really didn't need to spend the money. Now, since I tried out the donut palette, I've already gotten my ice cream palette and filmed a first impressions video with that palette. So if you want to see my ice cream video, I will try and remember to link it for you guys. It is already up on my channel. I also did become a Glamlite affiliate in the meantime, and so my code is KHMAKEUP if you want to save some money on Glamlite. So in number 15, I am ranking this NYX Ultimate Shadow palette, and this is in the Color Story Phoenix. I did get this one through Look Fantastic as well, and I really wasn't expecting too much from this palette, but I was very pleasantly surprised. So if you guys have been wondering about these NYX Ultimate palettes, honestly, I've had good luck with them so far and I would recommend them. The reason I'm ranking it lower in my list is because number 1 through 5 is like fabulous, and honestly, some of these palettes that rank lower really can't compete with the top palettes. So that's why it's ranking low, but I think for the price point and the color story, it is definitely a palette worth checking out if you guys are balling on a budget. Okay, so in the 14th spot is this guy. This is the Alva 2 palette from Oden's Eye. And this one was sent to me by my friend, Amy Loves Makeup, here on YouTube. She was so sweet. She's not a huge fan of pressed glitters. So she was like, do you want to try this? And I was like, yes, please. And she was so kind and sent it over. So I did do a look with this. I really like this palette. My only problem with this one is it doesn't have a colorful matte in a deep shade. So if you wanted to do a smoky outer corner, there's really not a matte that you can use for that. I know some people are okay with using a brown to deepen up a colorful matte, but with my skin tone, I prefer having a deeper matte shade to smoke out the outer corner to give it some depth. If I use brown, it usually muddies whatever color from the lighter colorful mattes I have. So that's just a personal preference of mine. I don't know that everyone feels that way, and I know some people are really comfortable with blending shimmer shades into the outer corner, but this one has that texture where it's definitely more of a metallic, colorful shade, so I didn't really want to throw that in the outer corner and blend it into the crease. But this is such a fun palette. I love that they did a colorful palette because their original collections were all more neutral eyeshadow palettes. So it's really fun that they did a colorful big palette, as well as I think they did 3 mini palettes that were all colorful as well. I didn't end up picking any of those up because Amy was so kind and sent me the Alva 2, so maybe in the future I will, but for now, very happy with my Oden's Eye palettes. Okay, next I'm gonna rank the Juvia's Place. This is the Taupes by Juvia's. You guys know I love Juvia's Place eyeshadows, so that is why this one is ranking a little bit higher. And it has some beautiful cool tone metallics. The matte shades honestly are very lightly pigmented, very gently pigmented for my skin tone. So that's why it's ranking a little bit lower than the other palettes that launch with this guy. But yeah, I really like this. So here is the Juvia's Place Taupes palette. Okay, in 12th place is the Profusion Rubies palette. This is a $5 red eyeshadow palette. If you guys are wanting something to spice up your fall eyeshadow game, I think this would be such a fun one. They also have a citrine palette. I think those two would pair really well together, but I really like this, so that's why I'm ranking it at number 12. Okay, in 11th place is the Alva 1 palette. So this is the original palette that I picked up from Oden's Eye. I really like this. It's very neutral, but this palette is so fun. Like if you want a just easy everyday eyeshadow look, or you want something sultry for nighttime, the shimmers are beautiful and the mattes work really well. And the packaging is hella cute as well. So I'm really happy with this, and this is being ranked at number 11. Okay guys, we made it to the top 10. So in 10th place is the Ace Beauty Nostalgia palette. I am so happy with this guy. It's such a fun, colorful eyeshadow palette, and I was so happy with this because to me, Ace Beauty has a very hit or miss formula. So it was nice to see a palette that wasn't a complete failure. I remember their Paradise collection. I wanted to love that collection so badly, but I hated the formula so much. So I'm very happy to see that their new improved formula is a little bit easier to use, a little more beginner friendly for me. I am always nervous with pressed pigments, so I was able to pull off some beautiful looks with that palette, which is why it made it to my top 10. Okay, in 9th place is my Too Faced Pumpkin Spice palette. Now, this was definitely a departure from what you're used to on my channel. Mostly I shop indie brands and I'm really into colorful eyeshadows, but this palette honestly caught my eye. And the reason it's ranking at number 9 and not higher is because Like I said, the top 5 is untouchable. If I had had worse luck with eyeshadow palettes in August, I could have seen this ranking much higher. But since the competition is very heavy at the top, this is ranking a little bit lower. I think this is going to be such a wonderful piece for holiday gift giving if you have a makeup lover in your life, or even if somebody just loves a good pumpkin spice moment. I think this is such a fun palette to have. And listen, I've tried a lot of Too Faced in my day. This palette, not bad at all. I'm very happy with it. I can see people using this all the time for work and just fun, neutral fall looks. So that's what I would definitely see myself using this palette for more and more. And I'm not going to go out and buy like every Too Faced palette, although it seems like I have been in September because I did acquire the Gingerbread mini palette, and I also bought their Too Faced Mariella palette. I don't know, for some reason Too Faced is like back on my radar for fall, but this palette is so cute and I don't regret buying it at all. Okay, in 8th place, I ranked the Juvia's Place Mauves palette. This is such a cute little palette. It has this beautiful duochrome shade that's like a pink to teal flip. And I don't know, I think this is such a basic, adorable palette. If you like this color story, I would totally recommend it. And you can definitely get this on sale for like $9 or $10 on Juvia's Place. And then in 7th place, I'm ranking this guy. I just thought this was so fun. I feel like Juvia's Place hasn't done like a bright, vibrant neon palette in a hot second. So that's why I'm ranking the Pinks by Juvia's Place at number 7. I think this is so cute. I definitely will be pulling for this more in the summertime, but it's so cute, and it reminds me of the Huda Neon Obsession palette, except I hated the pink one. So I'm happy that I have a bright pink mini palette from a brand I really enjoy. So in 6th place is the Muse Beauty palette, and I'm really excited. I used this in my live stream with Angie, and I was able to create such a beautiful green eyeshadow look, so I definitely wanted to give it another moment to shine. This is the first launch from this brand, and they are launching lip shades here soon. I did see them post about it, so if you guys are interested in checking out more stuff from them, you should check out the lip shades as well. But I think this is such a fun palette. It's not really a rainbow palette, but it does have some colorful shades as well as some neutral shades. And the formula is very nice, so I am so happy for this brand. It's their first eyeshadow palette. It's the first thing I tried from them, and they did actually send this to me as well, just so you guys know. And I'm so happy with this. So if you're looking for a cute little indie brand to support, I would recommend checking out this brand. So number 4 and 5 are from BH Cosmetics, and I'm gonna rank Bubblegum at number 5 because this one is the blue palette. When you guys see number 4, you'll know why this is number 5, but I enjoyed this palette so much. I kept reaching for this palette just for this shade Single Scoop because it works so well with a lot of the other eyeshadow palettes I used in the month of August. I reached for this shade when I was using that Alva palette. That's the kind of shade I was saying the Alva palette was missing, was a nice, deep, matte, colorful shadow. So something like this would have been ideal in that palette. I really like this palette. I'm going through each one and creating an eyeshadow look. I did one with the Pistachio palette. That's the only one I filmed so far. And then in 4th place is the Pistachio palette. I've heard so many people say, why is this limited edition? And honestly, I don't know. Sometimes things just don't make sense, okay? And these being limited edition is one of those things. I don't know if they ran out of all the pigments that they used to make this palette, but these palettes are the kind of palettes that make using color so easy, so much less scary for beginners, and even people like me that like to use color all the time. Having something like this that I can reach for and every shadow I need is in here and I can pull off a look makes me so happy. So that's why I'm ranking the Pistachio palette from BH Cosmetics at number 4. Okay guys, top 3. Drum roll please. Do you guys have any guesses? Let me know in the comments. Pause the video. Go ahead and guess, and let's get into the top 3. Okay guys, in 3rd place is the Sigma Untamed palette. I am so happy with this. Listen, Sigma is new to me. Like, I have brushes from them and stuff, but I really got into Sigma makeup in 2020 and I'm so happy. So this palette was definitely good luck for me because I filmed a video with this and somehow, I don't know how, Sigma's owner actually saw my video and she even shared it on her stories. And since then, I've been put on the Sigma PR list. I'm a Sigma affiliate. Like, I'm living the dream right now, guys. I don't even want to sound cocky, but I'm just so grateful to have the opportunity to work with a brand like Sigma. So they've sent me some goodies. I filmed a video with their holiday palette as well as a bunch of new stuff they sent me. So I will try and remember to link it for you guys to check out. But this is the palette that really kicked off my relationship with Sigma and I'm so grateful for that. I love this palette. I think this is such a perfect palette for fall and they always have such great sales. So if you're picking this up for yourself or a makeup lover in your life, I'm sure they will not be disappointed. Okay, in 2nd place is another favorite brand of mine. This brand is so near and dear to me and I feel like this collaboration put them on the map for so many more people. I feel like Sydney Grace was always popular with people that love indie makeup, but I swear after they did the Tiny Marvels palette with Mel Thompson, I've seen so many more Sydney Grace hauls. I've seen so many more Sydney Grace watch parties, so many more reposts on Sydney Grace's Instagram. So it's been so fun because I was so excited when Sydney Grace reached out to me back in, I think, 2018 and started sending me their PR, and then just to see them blow up the way they have is so exciting to me because they've always had amazing quality, but I feel like Mel Thompson really helped propel them to the next level, and for good reason. This is a beautiful collaboration between the brand and the creator. I really like the metallics in this palette. I don't love the shade Mantis or Jewel B, but that I think is just because of my skin tone. I would have preferred a much brighter green, like the shade in my crease right now. But the metallics are so bomb, and it's just such a cute palette. So I'm so happy to have received this in PR. I would have bought it if I didn't get it in PR, but I just want to say thank you so much to Sydney Grace. Thank you guys that have been using my code. It allows me to work with brands like Sydney Grace. So if you guys want to save some money on the Tiny Marvels palette, my code is KHMAKEUP. And I believe that gets you 15% off Sydney Grace. And this palette is so good. You guys all saw my swatch party video. Everyone went nuts for that video. I was surprised. I think it was like one of my top performers of August. So I just want to say thank you to you guys so much for supporting me. And Tiny Marvels is at number 2. So, do you guys have guesses for number 1? I mean, if you've been paying attention, this palette has been behind the scenes with me in so many videos. It is the Tahiti palette from Be Perfect. This is the Carnival 3 palette. It's their 3rd collaboration with Stacey Murray. And oh my goodness, I was so excited because I bought the 2nd one. And I hadn't really shown it on my channel. And then I started talking to Heather Austin more. And Heather Austin is a huge Be Perfect fan. And she was like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited for Be Perfect's new palette. And I was like, oh, they're coming out with another palette with Stacey Murray. And her original 2 palettes are also rainbow palettes. So I was like, oh my gosh, what could they possibly do next? You know, after you've done the rainbow thing so many times, how could you possibly top that? But they did, and I was so pleasantly surprised with the quality of this palette. Honestly, this palette so far is my number 1 palette of 2020. I love this palette so much. You can do so many different things with this palette. The mattes are so nice. Again, I like to reach for other palettes when I'm trying out palettes because if you don't have a colorful deep matte in your palette, I'm sorry, I'm probably going to reach for something else. And this is the one that I've been grabbing for the most. I wore this eyeshadow palette for my 4-year wedding anniversary with my husband. And you guys really liked that look. It was the purple eyeshadow look that I was wearing in my Look Fantastic Advent calendar unboxing. If you haven't seen it, I really like that look. So I've just been loving on this palette. It is so good. I would 1000% recommend if you guys want a ultimate rainbow eyeshadow palette. This is where it's at, honestly, in my humble opinion. So happy I bought this. I think this is also now available on Beauty Bay. I would run. I would not walk. I would run and grab this palette because it's so nice. It's going to be such a great gift for a makeup lover in your life, and I'm so happy with it. Can you guys tell? So that is my #1 palette from the month of August. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Again, I do apologize that it took me so long to film this, but you guys saw I had 18 palettes to rank, and most of them were really good. I was really building this up in my head. I was really making myself nervous for no reason. Once I pulled all the palettes out and started like rearranging them, I'm pretty confident with how I rank these. So thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know what your #1 palette of August 2020 was. I will be filming my September ranking video soon, so stay tuned for that, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye guys!